everyone. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. Today's game is a divisional matchup featuring the first running back taking off the draft board in their draft class. It's Eddie Lacy going up against Adrian Peterson. With that, we send you up to U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis as we hook up with our commentators, Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
Larry, it's the newest facility in the NFL, and it is a beauty as we come to you from U.S. Bank Stadium here in Minneapolis. Today, we've got a good NFC matchup on tap between the Green Bay Packers and the Minnesota Vikings. And hello again, everybody. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin here in the booth. And, Chuck, you take a look at this matchup. I don't know if it's going to be one in the trenches from the quarterbacks out, whatever. It's going to be a good game.
Oh, without a doubt. I can't wait to see the big fellas have an impact. We're always spotlighting those wide receivers and quarterbacks and running backs and even the defensive backs. But the big guys, I can't wait to see which one tilts the balance for their team.
The children will grow. It's the final weekend of summer, but we've got the NFL, and we're underway on EA Sports. And he'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. Aaron Rodgers leading the Green Bay offense onto the field. And looking at his numbers from this past weekend, 20 of 34, 199 yards, just shy of 200. Couple of passing touchdowns, rushing touchdown. Vintage Aaron Rodgers making some plays with his legs.
Yeah, that was the key to everything for me because he does such a nice job of extending plays to give his receivers a chance to get open downfield. And you know when they do, he's going to find them. And those were some of the biggest plays in the game against Jacksonville.
The first carry now. This is Lacy. And he'll work his way across the 30 to the 32. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards. And it's 2nd and 2.
Partner, the one concern I had about Eddie Lacy coming out of Alabama was weight. And it became a concern for Green Bay in 2015.
Yeah, he was up over 260 pounds. Disappointing 2015. Looks a lot better, doesn't he?
A lot better. And when he's lean, oh boy, is he a heck of a runner.
On 2nd down, Lacy. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
Not too many more ideal situations in 2nd and 2 in order to try and pick up a first down. They ran it and picked it up.
First down and 10 now for the offensive group. Throwing on first down is Rodgers. He's got time in the pocket. And he'll toss this one incomplete. Seeing no options, he throws it away. And for this offensive unit, Eddie Lacy, sometimes he even has the Auburn fans saying roll tide.
Now that's big right there because for them to say that, wow, that tells you how good a talent he really is. When he gets rumbling, the field tilts in his favor.
Maybe I overstepped my bounds there a bit, but he's good.
Brandon, you never want to get in the middle of Alabama versus Auburn.
Unable to connect on the first down pass play. Now it's 2nd down. Rodgers again here on 2nd and 10. Surveying the field. Caught by Montgomery. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. It'll be a gain of 9, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 1. He had time, was able to survey the field and find a soft spot in that zone coverage.
And that's where it gets difficult for a defender, Brandon. You go to your spots on the field that you have to cover, and when the offense finds an area that you're not in, that's where they throw the football.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. They'll try and run for it. Here's Lacy. And he's got the first down, yardage before being taken down at midfield. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks.
3rd and 1, partner. No need to be fancy there. Just use some force and move forward and pick up the first down.
So the run moves the chains, and here we go on first down. They stay on the ground on first down with Lacy. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. 18 yards on the pickup there. And it'll give the Packers a first down. So not much to speak of scoring-wise in this first quarter of play. It's a tight game here early. We're back to Minneapolis in just a moment.
The NFL on EA Sports is brought to you by Head & Shoulders. Shoulders were made for greatness, not dandruff.
With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter about to get underway with the Packers in possession of the football. And they're on the move here. They've got it 1st and 10. They go play action here on first down. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds. Against Jacksonville, Jordy Nelson's first game back after missing last year with that knee injury. 6 catches, 32 yards, also found pay dirt once.
I know everyone in Green Bay is excited to have him back on the field. I know Aaron Rodgers, he says that's my go-to, my number one guy. But what he really brings to the rest of the receiving corps is that speed. The ability to get downfield, stretch a defense, and open up gaps for the other receivers.
Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. No gain on the play, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. They tried to swing it out left into the flat, but the defense, they were very principled there.
It felt very West Coast offense, didn't it? You know their expression, right? On a West Coast offense, when they throw the ball, it's either going to be a touchdown or a check down, meaning they like to press it downfield. If they don't have it, swing it out, which is exactly what we saw there. But how about the great pursuit and tackle to make a nice play?
8th play of this opening drive coming up. This is 3rd down. Throwing is Rodgers on 3rd down. He's got his target. It's Cobb. And he's going to have a first down here as he gets this one to the 17-yard line.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
So the offense has it 1st and 10. Into the red zone, it's Rodgers. Touchdown, Packers. Ty Montgomery, a 16-yard touchdown. And the Packers take it right down the field and score on the opening drive.
In both locker rooms, the coaches talked about setting the tone early. Didn't matter whether you start on offense or defense. In this case, the team that had the ball first did exactly that. Took it right downfield and scored.
On is Mason Crosby for the point after. And it's good to make it 7-0 Packers. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. On the return, here's the dangerous Cordero Patterson. What a spin. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. One receiver left, 3 to the right. Bradford now to throw on first down. And no, incomplete. Boy, they took a shot there on the first play, tried to start it out with a bang, but it's second down. Charles, let me get your thoughts on the AFC West in general after week one. You had the Chargers losing that tough one, but they put up a good showing. Broncos and Raiders both winning one-point games. What do you see from the AFC West?
For me, partner, nothing has changed from what I thought going into the season. In fact, it's actually solidified what I thought, that the AFC West is going to be one of the better divisions in football. Kansas City still riding that winning streak in the regular season from last year. They extended it in week one of this year. Oakland, everyone talks about being a surprise. They're no longer a surprise. They're a solid team that will contend. And Denver's just the defending champions in the league. And San Diego played much better than expected in week one.
And welcome back. The offensive unit, they took the timeout. And now they get set to line up as we resume action. It looks like the Packers have added an extra DB on third down. They'll run it. Here's Peterson. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue. And we are back here. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. So the offense takes the timeout, and now we're set to get going.
Hey, watch the right. Watch the right. Say we got man. Ready. Blue 45. Blue 45.
First down, Bradford. And here's the first NFL catch for Laquan Treadwell. It'll go as a gain of 12, and it'll be a Minnesota first down.
If you're running out route, it's likely you end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
Fresh set of downs here. Bradford on first down. Johnson with a completion over the middle. And he'll get it down here to the 43. 7 yards on the play, and it'll be a second down. And quickly, they get to the line. Now a second down throw for Bradford. Finding time. And that one will fall incomplete. Clock here now just under 30 seconds to go in this first half. Third down and 3.
Left. Watch left. Come on, baby.
Third and short yardage. Bradford looking for Johnson, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Morgan Burnett. And they are going to take over right there at the 22-yard line. Well, this Vikings D, no doubt a huge boost in the Week 1 win. They scored twice. They really helped lift what was, at times a struggling offense.
And you'll never get the head coach Mike Zimmer to admit this, but I'll guarantee when he got home after this one, he had a big smile on his face because Zim's a defensive guy first. And to see Eric Kendricks with the touchdown on the interception return and Danielle Hunter with a fumble return for a touchdown, that's got to be very satisfying for Mike Zimmer knowing that his defense is playing at a high level early in the season.
And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down. A little educational piece. I know a lot of people here, 3-4, 4-3, etc. Take us through the 4-3, Charles.
Okay, 4-3. 4 down defensive linemen, usually 2 defensive tackles, 2 defensive ends. Behind them, the 3 those are the linebackers. The middle linebacker, often known as the Mike, with 2 outside linebackers, the Sam and the Will. There's your 4-3.
Sam on the strong side, Will on the weak side.
Thanks, Brandon, and welcome to our EA Halftime Report. I'm Larry Ridley. Both teams have done enough to be leading here to this point, but in a close game, you know the second half is going to have some more twists and turns, which should lead to some excitement. So let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first half. Third down from the 28. In traffic, Cobb will make the catch. He'll be tackled all the way down inside the 20 at the 17-yard line. Later on the drive, Rodgers' pass will go into the end zone, and he capped off the long drive with the TD. Packers up by a touchdown. Vikings on offense midway through the second. Treadwell's able to make the catch in traffic, and he ends up at the 49-yard line before he stopped on the play. So that'll do it for us here in Orlando. For the call of the second half, let's hand it back over to Brandon and Charles. Brandon.
Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. To return, here comes Marcus Sherrills. Oh, nice move. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line.
Personal foul, face mask, defense.
Face mask penalty, and Charles, you were a defender. You know sometimes in the heat of the moment, it's hard to keep your hands away from that face mask.
Sometimes you just get out of position as a defender when you're trying to make a tackle, so you end up flailing away, and your hand gets into the wrong spot.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
When you think of Mike Daniels, you think of strength. Hard to knock off the football, but surprising quickness and ability to move and evade people. How about that play there?
Well, he can squat 600 pounds, so that's how he caught people's attention coming into the league, and he caught our attention right there.
Bunch formation, bunch formation. Come on, boys, come on. Hey, number 8's coming, number 8's Mike. Ready, green.
Second down, Bradford. Over the middle here to Rudolph. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
Completed pass on second down. Now it's third down as the defense looks for the stop.
All day, all day. Here we go now. Green.
Bradford now from the 50. That's caught by Treadwell. And he lost the football. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble. And defensively, maybe an opportunity miss there.
No doubt about it. When that ball's out, all you're thinking about as a defender is, this is our chance to make a huge play. Instead, he's able to recover his own fumble.
And
Big
usually-
sigh of relief, huh?
Yeah, usually those wide receiver fumbles, there's open space around for the defense, but not there. He hops right back on it.
Double tight, guys, double tight. Hey, hey, hey. We got three. Three down. Zing.
First down, here's a run with Peterson. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 41. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
And that's another stop for the defense, something we've seen all game long. They have been on fire today. No matter what's called by the offense, they've had an answer for it.
And they're behind the sticks here a bit now, dealing with a 2nd and 12.
Alert. Here we go.
They run again with Peterson. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Mike Daniels makes the tackle. And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. It's the Vikings in possession of the football, but they need some points. They're trailing here to start the 4th. And the defense lines up looking for one final stop.
And they will be playing for the pass in this situation, not expecting any type of a run.
Green 39.
3rd and long for Bradford. The throw left side complete to Treadwell. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40.
Partner, I think that completion takes the definition of dink and dunk to a different level, doesn't it?
It does, and the defense was right there, kind of played into their hands. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. From the left hash, this from 53 yards out. And I don't think this has the carry. It does not. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is.
Everything looked good. Good snap, good hold. Sometimes, though, the ball just doesn't want to go where you want it. And this one winds up no good.
They come out here in the eye. Following the penalty now, Lacey. Evades the tackler, and now some space. Touchdown, Packers. Eddie Lacy, 57 yards. And the Packers add on to their lead.
Well, it'd be real easy to say that they are firmly in control right now, but I'm looking at your face and I'm thinking I've got to be careful with that.
Well, it's a 2-score game. You're inside of 2 minutes. I think you can breathe relatively easily now.
Yeah, you can, but still, you got to stay vigilant. Can't give up anything cheap and easy. That could put you in some jeopardy.
Still an important piece of business to take care of, the extra point. And it's good to make it 14-0. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. This fielded at the 2. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
Single, got a single slot. Check. Green, 90.
On 1st and 10, Bradford. He's got it complete to Diggs, right side. They get 25 yards out of that one. And that leads to a Minnesota first down. They've been struggling in the passing game. Do you like the aggressiveness there? I mean, it worked on that play, but do you like it?
I do, because a lot of the time you're struggling because your passing lanes are clogged. That usually happens when you're throwing the ball underneath. People start to press up on you. Push them deep. Find some space and open things up again. Being aggressive there, I think, will pay off for them.
A first down throw for Bradford. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. Give him 7 on the play, and it'll bring up a second down. False start's going to push him back, but these days, how hard must it be to be an offensive lineman?
It's very hard, Brandon. You've got defensive linemen flinching, trying to draw you off sides. You've got the loud crowds, and there are just so many super athletic players on defense now that you have to deal with each week. But through it all, these guys just sit in there for 4 quarters and slug it out.
Watch left. We ain't giving up nothing. Here we go. Green, 90.
Now a second down throw for Bradford. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. A gain of 4 on the play, and that's going to lead to a third down.
In order for a screen pass to break big, a lot of things have to come together and be well executed, but all it takes is one small thing to go wrong and keep it from being a big gain.
So completion on second down, that brings up third. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right.
Green, 90. Green, 90.
Third and short yardage, Bradford. And that is incomplete. He was trying to get it to AP out of the backfield. And that'll bring up 4th down.
I'm not sure we could spot any tendency here on this third down. They could have run it or passed it. Either one was available. They chose to try and get it through the air, but they were unsuccessful.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it.
Here we go. Green, 90. Green, 90.
Desperation time. Bradford on 4th down. And no, it's incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Packers D comes up with a big stop. So with that, we can just about close the book on this one, Charles.
Yeah, what's the old expression about slim and none? Well, Slim just left town on that
They're
one.
down to none?
Yes, exactly right.
They begin the drive with Lacey. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. So now 11 yards to go for this offensive unit. It's second down.
Hey, 4 down.
Again, it's Lacey. And nowhere real. Another timeout called by the Vikings now. 4 yards on the pickup there as they get it back to a more manageable 3rd and 7. So a defensive timeout, chance to regather, regroup, and get set as we resume action. And this defense looks for one more stop here on 3rd after the run.
Got three down.
They'll run here. This is James Starks. And he's going to be stopped up right at the line of scrimmage. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it'll be 4th down. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here. It'll be their 3rd and final timeout, so as they talk things over, we'll step aside. And now following that timeout, the defense back out onto the field. Here's Jacob Shum now, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And the punt over the side in the air, and the spot will be inside the 35. And Charles, in this situation, this is where the word miracle comes into play.
Have to score real fast, maybe throw a jump ball in the end zone and hope for the best.
Blue 45.
First down, Bradford. And complete, right side, the tight end Rudolph. And he's brought down. It's a pickup of 19, and it'll give the Vikings a first down. They're going to hurry back to the line now. And he'll spike it with exactly 30 seconds now left on the clock. Now Bradford on second down. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, doing a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see the grass or on the field turf, those rubber pellets flying up. Great catch. Now Bradford. And this one incomplete. So the clock stopped now with 20 seconds remaining. Good job by the O-line. Quarterback had time to go through his checks. That's one you need to take advantage of.
A perfect situation, and they're unable to take advantage of it. When you have that much time to scan the field, you have to find an open receiver.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And that is incomplete. Down to 15 seconds now. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Packers D comes up with a big stop. So they really needed points here in a two-score game. Could not come away with anything there on fourth.
And while we know they're a little bit discouraged here, they can't check out of this game. You and I have called a good number of games over the course of our career where we've seen these types of situations. Teams get the ball back, and that miracle does occur. So they can't let that dream go just yet. They have to get stout on defense here.
Yeah, right now really hoping for a turnover.
Double tight, double tight. Even. 4 down. Even.
Rodgers will take a knee here, and that should be all she wrote. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. So that'll do it. For my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry, I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. From Minneapolis, so long, everybody.